You just got your asses whipped by a bunch of goddamn nerds. Nerds!
Welcome back to Nerds Podcast. The dynamic duo of Pete and Pooba are here to talk about Welcome to Derry Episode 4. If this is your first time here, thanks for hanging out with us. And if you're one of the 500 plus subscribers that have supported us, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit that like button and the bell to get notified on our latest content. With Stranger Things coming out soon, you're going to hear our reviews on this stuff. The title of this episode, Welcome to Derry, is super long. The great swirling apparatus of our planet's function. Jesus, I said that in one breath. Thank you. What the show did in episode 4, of course, revealed to us the cosmic entities of its chilling origin story and how it impacted the area of Derry. We also found out why it won't leave Derry either. Pete, overall this episode, was it a strikeout or a home run?
No, it was a solid contact, extra base hit. They always look to one up the previous episode with the gore, with how gross it is, and yeah, the imagination that they have with the pickle scene with Lily. With the scene with Ronnie and her mom, yeah, they every episode they kind of ramp it up, and this was no different. This is all it's I think it's the most popular show on HBO Max right now. It's a look, they kind of hitched their wagon to a successful franchise, which is it, and they've gone from there. This is an opening like Daredevil. That you don't skip, and I don't skip this opening here on Welcome to Derry. It's a good another good episode. This is 8 episodes, right?
Yeah, we're at the half mark.
Yeah. So midway through, but yeah, all good so far, man. All good.
Yeah, when you talk about these 4 episodes, the first thing that comes to mind to me, Pete, is the acting. Like, the acting is so good on the show. Like, again. And I did a short on Emmys a few months back when we first started the show. I'm expecting to get some Emmys out of this. The acting is actually really good and delivers. Hands down. What do you think about that?
Nah, definitely. You don't you see the kids, they aren't as of course they're not going to have as much experience as the older actors, but James Remar is the general.
Yeah.
Is his name Shaw?
Yeah, Shaw. Francis Shaw.
Yeah, he's that's James Remar. And if you ever seen the movie The Warriors, he's Ajax in The Warriors. Very young.
He's also Dexter's dad in Dexter.
Oh, really? Yeah. He's been around forever. This guy. He's been around forever. So yeah. Again, you see definitely the parallels from the younger actors, which again in every movie he's dealt with younger actors. Andy Muschietti has dealt with younger actors because of course his main Pennywise's main target is kids. But yeah, awesome all the way through.
I
great
can't
acting
see
again.
anything of this stuff. I'm gonna hate to see this show leave. I really am not looking forward to ending this.
But you said there's 3 seasons planned, correct? So
that hopefully HBO renews it. That's the thing. That's how Muschietti has it planned out. He's gonna keep going back in time to see it. This is not gonna have a happy ending. We kind of know this going into this. This is not gonna have a happy ending. But we start off this episode with the kids getting straight to the police department, Pete. I guess they spent the night at the school. Like, no one went home. Many of the stories that, of course, are shown are direct from the book. The 4 kids, I'm going to call them the New Losers Club, Lily, Ronnie, Will, and Rich, approach Chief Bowers with their evidence. With Chief Bowers, the 2 cops that were waiting outside of Ronnie's crib, they were there behind them as well. But the pictures don't really reveal anything to the cops. Pete, is this kind of like Beverly's bathroom where only the kids can see what's going on?
Yeah, I thought they made a reference to like maybe Dracula when he can't see his reflection. I thought something similar to that. So yeah, it sucked because it was a big waste of time. They spent the night in the graveyard and they broke into the school, and for it all was for nothing because Lily ended up getting threatened to be shipped back to I'm forgetting the name of the
Juniper Hill.
Juniper Hill. She got threatened with that, and yeah, it sucks because they're back to square one. Ronnie thinking that she has a way to save her dad, and she actually doesn't. But what made the episode for me was, we'll get into it later down the line, but it is pertaining to Ronnie's dad.
And I'm not sure what the clown in the photo was. I don't think it was Pennywise. It looked, because the hair comes out way longer. I'm thinking that's the female clown from 1908. And I'm going to get into something about that in just a moment. But the kids go back to the gym. They mention the whole Dracula thing. And they also mention Shawshank again. Again, this is all coming from the universe of King. So, and Lily comes up with the idea to talk to someone. Now, I mentioned this because I was wrong. And I was thinking that this was Annie Wilkes, right? From Missouri.
Wait. Let me. I don't think you were wrong yet. Because I was going to get into that too. I fact checked it. Her name is Ingrid.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean later down the line she can change her name. Because remember, she's a whack job. So who knows if she doesn't have any other aliases. But again, I don't mean to stop. But I wanted to get into that because we did say we were going to fact check.
No, cut me off. This is important. This is the stuff that we need to get into, especially if we mention it on the channel. So, but yes, you're right. I don't know if I'm completely wrong, but now I have a different take, Pete.
Okay, so go ahead. No, but yeah, we did. Her name she is listed as Ingrid, but again, we don't know if down the line she has a name change because of the trouble she's gotten into. But she is listed as Ingrid. I'm not saying that you're wrong. We don't know yet. That's what I'm just saying.
Well, I went back into the book, and Ingrid is a minor character in the novel, and she's just a cleaner at Juniper in the book.
Okay.
She does the cleaning, but the whole Dracula thing that you mentioned, Pete, I went back into the scene at the restaurant. Her reflection doesn't show in the mirror. You can only see Lily's. Now, again, it could be the whole camera angle thing that they're doing, that they don't show it, but I don't know now, right? And because I can't see the reflection, now I'm thinking this may be all in Lily's head. That Ingrid doesn't exist. And again, I'm hoping they kind of go back and they might see Lily at the cafe and she's by herself at the table. But because she's known as the crazy girl, no one says anything to her. Mm-hmm. So what do you think now that I say that?
No, that's another good a good way to look at it is because once you started going into it, I said, yeah, maybe it's in her head because she is looked at as a space cadet, but it's I look at her after this episode and I'm like, this poor girl has been through a lot, man. Like, damn. But it's for a compelling story. But we did fact check that she is listed as Ingrid, but I don't completely throw away the first theory because you know what? Maybe she does change her name, but that is a good one. That maybe she's a figment of her imagination. She's a imaginary friend, so to speak. But
so I read that she might be the butcher's wife, which would make her last name Kirsch, and of course could be the Kirsch that we see somewhere down the road with Beverly in chapter 2, but only by marriage, because if her maiden name is Gray, then she could be related to Bob Gray, which is the owner of the 1908 carnival, and could be the girl that we see that's Pennywise that could also be in the picture. If you know that Pennywise usually takes on the people that he kills and portrays them sometimes. So I don't know if that's a thing there too. So Ingrid, we're curious. Who are you? So let's go continue with the story. Rose delivers furniture to Charlotte and they become acquainted over a cup of coffee because she will never say no to a cup of coffee. Rose tells her that Derry is a beautiful place, but things happen again time over and over again. Never a bad idea to keep your the people that you love close. And then we get the beginning of the black spot as Doc and his buddies get a location and to max and relax. But this is now off base and it's in the reach of it. Pete, the first time he goes outside, Doc gets this sharp pain in his head. At this point, Pennywise knows that he's there. Are we in agreement?
No, I didn't think of Pennywise. I didn't think of Pennywise at that point.
See, what I saw is, and again, and just remember about The Shining, of course, The Shine can have you glimpse into the future a little bit. And I think Doc did see what's going to happen to the black spot. So if it's not Pennywise messing with him, it's The Shine telling him, this is not going to have an happy ending for this area. Well, Will then tries to sneak back into his house because they've been out all day. Again, Pete, you called it great parenting 100% of the time. But his mother finds the photos and then he explains everything to his mom. You have no idea how relieved this made me. Like, all these kids going through all this stuff and no one's telling their parents. Pete, what would you have done in Charlotte's place if your kid is telling you all of this is happening?
Well, she's the first one who finally, decided to, do some parenting and said, you're punished from school here and that's it. Finally, we get somebody being a responsible parent. Yeah, I mean, possibly the same thing, and you see how now they start to explore her backstory in the sense that how she was fighting for people's rights in the South, and her first instinct is to try to help Ronnie's dad, Hank.
And yeah, but at the dinner, she wants to make sure that she doesn't tell Will's dad. And she makes it seem like it's about a girl.
Girl, yeah. And
I was laughing because the dad is like, is she... And he was hinting, is it a white girl or a black girl? Yeah. But this talks about also the racial tension of the era. And we'll get into this right now. It also sets up Ronnie's dad. What he was hiding. We had talked about that in the previous episode. If he wasn't at the movie theater and we thought he was home, well, he wasn't home. Someone saw him. The cigarettes were there. But he's hiding his alibi because of the same taboo that Hanlon worried about. Tell me what you think about that conversation. I know we're jumping ahead just a little bit, but I want to get into this now because we saw in Hanlon's face when he was like, is she... And they started laughing. But now this is taboo. This is the 60s. Black men weren't allowed to date white women. And his alibi. So do you understand why he wasn't telling the truth?
Well, at first I just thought they were just trying to pin it on him because he was black and he worked there and they needed somebody to pin it on. But then when he started with the cigarettes and somebody saw you, I was like, okay, he's just lying because he's a racist cop and he's trying to, keep his job. But no, that turns out that somebody did see him, so he wasn't in his room. So I'm like, okay, so then his alibi was a lie. But I thought it was something. When she asked him, like, what is it? Like, I know you see I'm on your side. You figured it out, right? I'm on your side right now. So what is it? Because you're gonna have to come clean at one point. And then when he said it, I said, okay, that makes sense. Why he didn't want to say it. But I thought it was something else. I thought he was going to say that he was gay.
Ooh, that would have been even more taboo.
I thought he was going to say he was gay, but then I don't know if, and maybe I read too much into this. In chapter 2, Pennywise said that to Richie. I'm going to expose the secret that you're hiding from everybody. Did you hear that too? Because I thought maybe he was gay as well. Because, that's something that you don't want to, that's yours. That's your story to tell.
Yeah.
Exactly. If you're not ready to come out, it's a fear. Like you said, you don't want it exposed until you're ready to come out. So I thought with Richie, when he said that to him, if you ever go back to it, check it out. He goes, I'll expose your little secret that you're keeping from everybody. Pennywise said that to Richie. So that's where I started thinking here, is he gay? Is he gay? Like, was he with another man? And that's why he doesn't want to say anything. But this is definitely along the same lines. He's with a white woman who's married. So,
and it might be Chief Bowers' wife.
I think he would have said that. It could be somebody. I think somebody else in power.
Look, crazy enough that he's already a black man in the 60s. Crazy enough that he did it with a married white woman.
And then he said, they're not throwing me in jail. They're just going to find the nearest tree. So that's serious. That's serious right there, man. I'm just like, but he still doesn't want her to get hurt. So he's like, if we can do it without that, I'm for it. So I was like, that part to me, finally, because like I said, I was believing him. I thought they were just trying to pin it on him when he's like, yeah, I seen him. We got somebody that saw you. I'm like, he's lying. But they really got an eyewitness. So big turn of events here with that part of the story. Loved it.
Yeah,
Loved
and they're gonna ship him to Shawshank the next day. Like there's nothing that they're gonna do about it. Let's continue with the story. I love this topic, by the way. So Will and his dad try to bond over fishing. And you can tell immediately that Will wants nothing to do with fishing. I also suck at fishing. I couldn't catch a cold if I wanted to. But Hannon, of course, goes get more bait and goes to the car. Talk to me what you saw, Pete, with Will by himself in the creek.
Well, of course, you know something was going to happen because he's getting closer to the water, and a hand reaches out and grabs him, and it's actually his dad, burned up from a plane that actually crashed. Being that he's a pilot, so of course he gets back very very reminiscent of A Nightmare on Elm Street when they were coming out with bruises and stuff from their dreams. So of course he had some scratches on his arm. So, his dad, of course, runs back. Like you said, he went to go get bait from the car. Hears his son screaming and runs back to get him out the water. He frantically explains to him what happened. And, we kind of shift to another scene, but I think that's when they go to Doc, where Doc's at.
At first, it was crazy to me to think that the biggest fear that he had was his dad. Then I realized because he has the scar, he dealt with that. The kid had to deal with his dad plane crash as it stands, and he foretold his death. He said, "You'll burn too."
Yeah,
kind of like Georgie said, "You'll float too." He said, "You'll burn too." But the eeriest part for me, Pete, is they both saw the red balloon.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And we also see the red balloon again, of course, in the tree. But for them to both see it, damn, that chill hit me pretty good. So let's talk about Charlotte. I gotta tell you, Pete, I was clapping the whole time when Charlotte approached Chief Bowers. Of course, like you said, she wanted to speak to Ronnie's dad. She got shot down. He told her this isn't the South. She gets to talk to the mother, and when she comes back, she starts name dropping. I'll get MLK, JFK, RFK. P. I love the confidence in her, and she was killing them with kindness. Like, she was confident as hell. Did you see that in her as well?
No, I didn't. I love the guy said, "Excuse me." She goes, "No, I don't think I will." I was like, "Yeah, she's not." He's not. He tried to throw a little. He said you could be in the cell right next to him, and I could put you in the cell right next to him, and that didn't faze her at all. I like this. I like this part. Her backstory. We're hearing her backstory as again she was fighting for people's rights in the South, and she's hitting Hank with a whole. And they finally let her see him because of all the hurt threats that she had. She finally was able to see him, and she let him know about a lot of the rights that a lot of his rights that had been violated because they weren't doing things by the book. But she did explain to him that you're gonna, the paperwork that they're gonna have to fill out so he can be under home arrest. It's gonna take a couple of days, so he'll have to be a couple of days at Shawshank, unfortunately. But hopefully, I'm anxious to see what's gonna happen. I hope it does. This part, I hope it has a happy ending, even though, again, we're talking about Derry where a lot of bad stuff happens. So
there's a lot of hate in Derry.
He's innocent. He's innocent. Now, he's innocent. He was doing something that he probably shouldn't have been doing, but that's going to save him. And she said it. You telling the truth here is what's going to save you.
Yeah, but he didn't tell the truth because he said he was home. So We'll see.
No. Telling the truth now. If he tells the truth now.
Oh, him and that white girl are done. Like,
that's what I'm saying. But she said that's what's going to save you, is you saying where you were really at.
Yeah. It's a tough situation to be in.
Good luck.
We get back to the black spot, and Doc has another vision, starting with the deadlights, which of course is Pennywise's true form. He then sees the flashes, and then there was a scene where I think he saw Lily sink. I wanted it so bad to be the future where he saw Beverly sink, but I don't think that's the case here. And then he gets his grandmother who comes in, and of course we know this based off The Shining and Dr. Sleep, that he explained that his grandmother taught him how to use the shine. Now, I don't think this is Pennywise messing with Doc. I think it's totally the shine, and because, Danny was speaking to Doc in Dr. Sleep, so he can talk to dead people. And again, I think Doc is talking to his dead grandmother. I think that's the shine and not Pennywise messing with him. What do you think?
I think, the shine. I don't think it's. I'm not, unless he's like showing himself. I think he has at times when he's messing with the kids, and they had a conversation about that. Maybe he doesn't want to kill us. Maybe he just wants to mess with us. If he doesn't hide. He doesn't really. He's not really hiding. He's with the skeleton man, with Mrs. Kirsch. He doesn't. He lets it be known. I'm here. So I think it was the shine.
Yeah, because the grandmother said, "Mind me now. Watch yourself. You're here. Keep that lid on tight." And what she's saying is, don't let him see that you have a shine. Don't let him see that you have a power. Because again, what does Pennywise do? He consumes that stuff. So could you imagine Pennywise with the shine? It's not a good look at all. But Doc is interrupted by Hanlon looking for some answers. Pete, Will's dad looks like he's desperate. Would you have done the same thing and say, yo, what the hell is going on? You know something that I don't.
Absolutely. I think waited too long to ask that question. I would have been. I'm real quick to be. I would have been really quick to be like, okay, once you start seeing maybe just one or two things, you got to start asking, like, what the hell's going on here? You don't wait till something that drastic happens to your son. But once you get there, look, and I think he had a couple of instances where he could have said, hey, what's going on here? And then he ends up going back to the general and asking him as well.
Yeah, and it continues because Hanlon is home, and it's as almost that he can. Again, I think Hanlon has the shine, and because of the whole conversation that he had with Doc, and he felt his son screaming before the kid started screaming. When the kid was with the telescope and saw again, I don't think it's Pennywise. I think it's this little girl, or it could be Ingrid. In a clown suit that's a form of Pennywise. I'm really confused at this point because it's not Annie Wilkes. It's not what I wanted it to be. But he goes and approaches the general. The general takes him because Rose's son is now sitting down. And he does this Bane thing over his... I hit the mic, sorry. He does this Bane thing and gets in his head, and we get the whole It background. Pete, were you amazed how that whole thing went down?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, the whole thing covering his face and then kind of like really like getting into his head. But I got to ask you, why don't you think it's Pennywise?
In the sense of because
by the tree when he's looking out the telescope.
So again, and I'm going based off the Pennywise that I know that he takes. It's his favorite form to take is that Pennywise form because he takes different shapes. But it's because of the way the hair is. It's the exact same hair as the girl from 1908. And I don't think that's Pennywise. For some reason, I think it's some other entity.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but it doesn't look like the Pennywise that I know. And it could be just a 1960 version of Pennywise where his hair was longer. And I'm okay with being wrong.
And maybe he got a different cut.
He changed with the times.
So to answer your question... That scene really kind of opened it up because, like you said, we get the backstory, and just the way it was done, and then this connection with The Shining is it's awesome, man. I'm enjoying the show completely. because of that, because of the Easter eggs, because of the connection. Look, I was excited thinking that was Annie Wilkes. Shawshank is mentioned. You never know what's going to come up now. So it was kind of on my toes trying to see if I can see things as well.
Yeah, and really cool how they broke off pieces that pretty much held it captive, and they spread it around in a circle, so that's why he can't leave Derry. Because so I think they did a great job of explaining that. If you haven't seen that part of this episode, pay close attention to that episode. It's a lot in the sense of them explaining how but in a sense, it just made perfect sense. It was clear. I hate when they do a show and you're still confused about something. There was zero confusion of how that all went down. The fact that his first persona was like the European priest, and that's what they were fearing. Again, just details that mattered. But the kids pretty much go back to the Tar hideout. Will starts explaining how certain predators put in fear to raise adrenaline because it tastes better. Man, I love that as well. What did you think about that conversation, Pete?
It makes sense. It makes sense, and especially the way the same thing with that Pennywise, he likes that's what he feeds off of, is the fear. And now that you see that, you kind of give off these pheromones that taste good to them or taste good to him, and that's why he's not ready to kill them. He just wants to continue to scare them because that's what he's looking for. So yeah, that's cool, man. Again, they're tying everything up nicely where it's all making sense. I don't think there's any holes in the story so far. And not that I'm looking for any, but it's well written.
Well, they do say, right, that dogs can smell fear.
Definitely.
Same before? Okay. We then get back to the school, and this is the fourth quarter. We're going to be ending it up with this one. Lily becomes the drug dealer for the kids, so she's handing out the pills for all. So if they get scared, pop a pill, you'll be good. But then Margaret, of course, wants to befriend Lily, and they're kind of setting her up, and things just get crazy. And of course, Margaret unlocks a brand new fear from the projector movie that she's watching, which hits her later on. And I know they're trying to set her up to make her look stupid and make her feel bad in front of the whole staff. Margaret looks like she's immediately regretting doing this in the bathroom. And again, just shout out to Lily because she's been through so much, like you said, and she's so happy, bro. Like, and you're happy for her. And you just feel that gut in the body because the acting is so good. In your gut, you're like, man, I don't want this to happen to her. She's already been through enough. But it doesn't go the way I thought it was gonna go. Margaret looks in the mirror. Pete, just point out this is part, like you said, they upped it. This is craziest than anything I've seen in any of these other episodes. Walk me through what you saw. I'll chime in just a bit. I'm in tears because there was a part that I was like, no, come on, now, not that. And they go there. Tell me what you saw.
So yeah, so Lily goes to use the bathroom because she's nervous, and they're going. And it sucks because this kind of reminds you how cruel kids can really be, and this is perfect example of it. They're telling her this popular boy likes her, and they're like, oh, go say hi to him. And the plan, like Puba said, is to embarrass her, which is like, leave this poor thing alone. I feel for her, and look, it's a good job, good storytelling, good acting, because she's an actress, and I feel bad for her. But while she's trying, and like you said, she's about to come clean and tell her, she's got tears in her eyes, and her eyes start hurting. He looks in the mirror, they start bulging. So what they were watching was something on insects or slugs in class. And her eyes started to protrude out of her head the same way, like a snail's would. And she's oh my God! And what she does to try to stop it, I guess she's in pain. Lily comes out the store, or she's trying to come out the store, and then she sees what's going on, You know, like we just said, she'd been through so much. She closed the door back. She was like, you know what? I really can't take this. So let her deal with that on her own. But she ends up going to chase her. But she tries to do all these things to cut those things off of her face.
Oh, my God.
And where does she end up, of course? In shop class. Where there's a whole bunch of saws and table saws. And she really... Then at this point, Lily comes and tries to help her to get her to stop from doing that. She does succeed in doing that. Very graphic. Very graphic. But again, they definitely up the ante every episode. So just curious to see what's going to happen. I mean, come on. What was it? The first episode, Ronnie has a dream about her mother. The umbilical cord is still attached to her. Like, what?
Like, how much worse can you actually make this visual?
I'm telling you, they must have a meeting and be like, okay, guys, what are we going to do this time?
Because a normal mind wouldn't think of
this. There's no way. There's no way that you're coming up with that. I did not. That to me was something I've never really seen before. Because we've seen a lot of movies. We've seen Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason, and Freddy was pretty creative with his kills. Freddy was pretty creative. Even Jason, Michael Myers really wasn't. Jason, I think, was at some point. But this was something extremely out of left field, man. Out of left field.
Once I saw the electric saw, I said, "Please don't do this."
And she went right to it.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that out of all this, and Lily has to grab the pill out of the toilet, and we're not even talking about that.
Yeah, I was like, yo, by this time, like, you're not gonna use that now, right? Like,
no, she went in and she used the bathroom because we know she used it. So yeah, like that's not the grossest thing. And Leslie saw through the bug eyes. Lily has the chisel because Margaret was trying to use it in her eye to poke her eye out. But Lily grabs it from her, saves her in that sense. But we end with the girl, you called her a space cadet, which I haven't heard in years, has the chills in her hand. She's over Margaret. The kids are there. They see eyewitness now, and it feels like Lily is doing this to Margie. Yeah. Fade to black, and we're going to have to wait to see. Hopefully Margie says her truth that gets Lily out, because she still has a mouth. She's still alive, so hopefully she says something of that nature. But I don't know. This is crazy. I'm enjoying it. I love it. Pete, I can't wait for next week Sunday. For Pete, for me, we're going to go home with Pete's words.
We will return.
The worst episode ever.